Hi, welcome to Quilting with Lori. My name is Lori Dickman, and today I have a block to share with you. It's week 20 of my 52-week series of Scrappy blocks, and I have something very special in store with this particular block. This one is called, actually it's called the Bachelor Puzzle block, but I've renamed it Bachelor in Love, and I'll share with you why in just a moment. There is a PDF attached for this block. It will give you the instructions on how to put it together, and I'll be showing you that here in just a minute. But on the back, or the second page of that PDF, you'll find a wonderful little quilt here. It's a wall quilt that I'm entitling Bachelor in Love. So next week, I am going to share with you how to make the hearts and flowers block on the center, and then we can put together this beautiful wall quilt for Valentine's Day. We'll work on that next week. This week, let me show you how to put together the Bachelor in Love block itself. And before I show you how to put the block together, if you are enjoying the content that I'm providing you every week, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll get notified when I put up new tutorials. And I put up 2 tutorials at least every week. And also comment. I love to hear from my viewers. So now let's take a look at the block and how to put it together. So again, don't forget to print out the PDF that is attached in the description box below, or save it to your computer, or you could even create a playlist of all of these sample blocks, or use one of my playlists so that you'll have access to it in the future. This is the block right here. It's a beautiful little block. It's made with a lot of half square triangles and 4 squares. It's made with values, lights, mediums, and darks, and this is what I teach in my Speedy Solutions to Cut and Sort Your Scrap Stash. This is a book that I have out on my website. I also have a complete lecture on how to get your scrap stash cut, sorted, organized, stored, and then how to use it. And that is out on my YouTube channel. I'll have all of these links connected in the description box below. If you don't have your scrap stash cut and sorted and organized yet so that you can use it, make sure you watch that video so that you'll have the understanding of how to do that. It's really very helpful. So here is the block that I've put together, and what it requires, and the information is on your PDF, are 3.5-inch squares and 4-inch squares. The 4-inch squares are going to be used to make my half square triangles for the block, and these 3.5-inch mediums are the actual squares that are right here. So these are the ones that I'm going to place right in those areas there. Those are the 3.5-inch mediums. And then I've pulled 4-inch lights and 4-inch mediums and darks that I'll be using to create all of the half square triangles. So let's go ahead and see how this is done. If you take a look at this, I have taken all of the 4-inch squares and I've placed them right sides together. Here I've placed 2 lights with 2 darks right sides together. I've placed 2 mediums with 2 darks right sides together, and 2 lights with 2 mediums right sides together. I'm going to be drawing a diagonal line across each one of these from point to point. I'm going to be sewing 1/4 of an inch on each side of that diagonal line. Then I'll cut it apart, square it up, press it open. I'll end up having a total of 12 half square triangle units when I'm done. I will have 4 half square triangle units of the lights and darks. I will have 4 half square triangle units of the mediums and darks, and I will have 4 of the half square triangle units of the lights and mediums. So that's how I'm going to create my half square triangles. I'll show you that in fast motions. You've seen me do this before, where I cut apart my assembly line of half square triangle units by cutting straight across from edge to edge there, from stitching line to stitching line. And what that is doing is just eliminating a lot of excess fabric, so there's not quite as much bulk in the seam allowances. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and trim apart every one of these. Then I am going to cut each one of them on that diagonal line. And then I'm going to use my Clearly Perfect square up ruler to square each of them up to 3.5 inches. Every half square triangle must measure 3.5 inches. I will press to the darker side. That's what I plan to do on all of mine. So I have squared up a number of these half square triangle units. I am using my trimmer A. It's called the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer, and this is what I'm using to square them up. I am doing this by just laying, these have to be 3.5 inches, and that's what they need to be squared up to. So I'm locating the 3.5 inch mark on the trimmer, and that is the stitching line right there. You'll see that. So I'm lining that stitching line up with the stitching line on the half square triangle unit here. So I've lined that up. And now what I'm going to do is just trim away the excess on each side. I didn't get this side properly. There we go. It's not a whole lot that has to come off, but it's very important that that gets removed. These must equal 3.5 inches exactly in order for your blocks to go together properly. It would be very, very frustrating if you did not trim up each and every one of these half square triangle units. So make sure you do that. Your block will then go together beautifully. I also want to point out that with the clearly slotted trimmer here, you can actually eliminate some of the excess points with these slots. They have slots available in the trimmer, so you can go ahead and trim there, and then you'll see that the excess points have been removed from that triangle. Maybe you can see it better on that side. So I have laid out my block with the half square triangle units and the squares. So the top row has a dark light half square triangle. There's a 3.5 inch medium. Here is a medium dark half square triangle, and then another dark light. And here we have a medium dark half square triangle. Here we have light medium half square triangles, and there's a 3.5 inch medium square. There's another square, the same half square triangle, light medium. Here's a medium dark. Here's some more medium or light darks, a medium dark, and another half square triangle, or excuse me, another 3.5 inch square. So it's very simple. Just follow the diagram in the PDF or on the video here to lay out your block. And then what I like to do when I put my blocks together, I like to web them. Basically what I'm going to be doing is sewing these two rows together, then I'm going to add this row, and then I'm going to add this row, then I'll sew them together in this direction. So let me do that for you. You've seen me do this before. In fact, I'll attach a link below for a video that teaches you how to web your blocks or your quilts. I also like to web my quilts when I'm putting them together. Every single block then is sewn together in the same fashion. So here are two of the blocks that are completed. This is the one that I've just finished. I webbed it together, and again I have a link below in the description box so you can see exactly how to web a block. And I'm simply sewing the columns together, and then I'm sewing the rows together. And what I did with both of these is squared each block up to 12.5 inches. That's very important. But they're beautiful blocks. They go together very easily. And what we'll be doing next week is using this block in this particular quilt here. This is a great little quilt. I'm calling it Bachelor in Love. So this block I am naming Bachelor in Love. Next week we're going to learn on Monday how to put the hearts and flowers block together. And then later on that week I'll show you how to put this quilt together. It is going to be a lot of fun. I hope that you'll join me and create a beautiful Valentine quilt for your home. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope that you'll post pictures of the quilts that you're working on, or just the blocks that you're working on, or maybe the fabrics that you're choosing out in my Facebook page. It's Quilting with Lori, and it's Scrap Up Your Stash. Go out there and locate that. In fact, I'll have links below so that you can find that. I love to see what you're all working on. I love it when you share those pictures with me, or maybe share quilts that you're using, that you're creating using these scrappy blocks. So it was fun sharing this with you today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll get all of my tutorials as I put them out. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday to continue with the next block in this series, as well as further on, I'll be able to show you how to make a beautiful Valentine's quilt called Bachelor in Love. Until next time, happy quilting.